Fred, what's up, Dan?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
What's happening?
Hey, you mentioned earlier how Nick Foles has a chance to add another chapter to his story here. I was wondering if he wins another Super Bowl MVP, and I know it's a long shot. But if he were to...
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous, but go ahead.
Well, if he were to do that, do you think that would be enough to put him in the Hall of Fame?
You know, that's a really stupid thing to say.
Well, that's how you're basing Eli's entire case.
No, because it has Foles. Is Foles a guy who is in the top 5 in yardage and in touchdown passes of all time? Dan, that's just stupid. You got to play every day. Foles has been on the bench being a backup for years. It's just stupid. If he did that, it would be the most remarkable career in the history of sports, since only 5 guys have ever been 2-time Super Bowl MVPs. And all 5 of them have been career starting quarterbacks, franchise quarterbacks for their team. Eli was the number 1 pick in the draft. Okay, to have a guy who's a journeyman who's never played win 2 Super Bowl MVPs would be the most unlikely Walter Mitty type career in the history of any sport. And you even bring it up shows what a dope you are to even bring it up in the same vein, because it would be the most mind-boggling career in history to have a guy who doesn't even start for most of his career to be a 2-time Super Bowl MVP would be so impossible to even contemplate. Eric in Jersey. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
What's happening?
You're totally right about Darnold. You've been talking about him since the Rose Bowl against Penn State.
And he's the real deal. And the Jets now get a chance. Forget him. Now the Jets get a chance to put the pieces around him. And they've got to put the right pieces around him.
Who do you think the right person for the job? The coach for him? And do the Jets pay Le'Veon Bell?
I don't want him.
No?
I don't want him. They don't need to do that. They don't need to pay a running back that kind of money. Put the money in the line. Put the money in the right places. Do not worry about that. He's got running backs. He's got Bilal Powell, hopefully coming back healthy. I don't need it. I don't need him to have that kind of running back. It's not necessary. I'm not knocking that kind of back when you come around, him and he comes into your franchise the right way. But to go out and buy one of those in free agency at an outrageous price, I don't want him. I think it's the wrong move. While I think Khalil Mack would have been the right move, because there is not a Khalil Mack in this draft. David in New Jersey, what's up, David?
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Good. What's happening?
You're much more of a historian when it comes to sports than I ever will be. Has there ever been a year where, and I'm not sure the hockey standings as they stand right now, but where potentially 8 out of 9 New York teams have missed the playoffs?
I'm sure there has. I'm absolutely sure there have. Remember the Mets were very bad for a long time. Very bad. The Yankees went through a long drought. 64 to 76, as an example. During that same time, the Jets were hit and miss, and the Giants were bad. So if you go and look it up that year, all you need is the Knicks and the Rangers. Now you weren't 9 teams deep in that at that time. If you're only Go ahead.
The Islanders were there.
Well, the Islanders didn't win until the first time the Islanders won was 80. 79, 80. So 79, 80. So the first time, and their run was 4 years in a row, was one of the great runs of all time. But that's it. As far as winning championships, if you're just talking championships, the Knicks only won 2 championships. The Islanders' block is small. The Rangers have only 2 in forever. The Jets have the 1, 69, which was a miracle year because the Mets are the same year. I can give you, I bet you can give me a year where every team in New York had a losing record. Now, I don't know if you can do it with all 9. I don't know if you can do it. If somebody can do it with all 9, has got the time to sit there and figure it out. If you can give it to me with all 9, with the 3 hockey and the 2 in each sport, if you can get, I don't know that you can do that since they've had 9. But if you went back to pre-extra teams, you could definitely do it when it was the Jets and the Mets and the Yankees and the Giants and the Knicks and the Rangers. You could definitely do it when it was 6. I don't know if you could do it when it was 9. You could definitely do it when it was 6. You could give me a year where they all had losing records. I'll try to, top of my head, Try 65. Try 65, Mons, as an example. All I got to worry about there is the Jets. And I don't know the Rangers in 65. Rangers might have been. I can't give you the Rangers top 65 top of my head. It's Jets AFL. Not sure if the Jets had a winning record in 65, top of my head. Yankees lost. Did you get? Is that the Jets too? Yeah, Giants were 500. I know that. Were the Jets under 500? Were Jets under? I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you.
Jets were under.
Jets were under.
Rangers were under.
Knicks were under. Mets were under. Yankees were under. That's it. 65. I gave you 65. Okay. Yankees were definitely under.
Knicks were under.
Knicks were under. And the Jets, what was the Jets record? Giants were 500.
5-8-1.
5-8-1. Okay. Mets were terrible. Yankees. What was the Rangers record? How bad was it? Rangers, I wouldn't know off the top of my head. So 65, no winning. No one had a winning record.
Rangers were 20-38-12.
20-38. Knicks were under still. That was before the DeBusschere got here. It was before they got good. I'm trying to see if 66. Yankees, Mets, Giants. What were the Jets in 66? Look them up, because everybody else 66 was probably losing again. Yankees lost for sure. Yankees finished 10th.
6-6-2.
Who's that?
Jets.
6-6 66. No one won either then. Unless the Rangers. Check the Rangers out. I don't know the Rangers top of my head. Yanks lost. Mets lost. Giants lost. Jets 500. Knicks, no.
Yeah, the Rangers were horrible that year.
Okay, so 66, 65, 66, neither one. 67 now, Yankees lost again. No, Yankees might have been 567. 66, they finished 10th. 67... No, they were probably still under 567. I think they were. They were 66. They were 10.
72 and 90.
Okay, they lost. Yeah, 67. So Mets 67 lost. Mets didn't win till 69. So 60. Knicks no. Giants no. Yeah, that might be. Jets probably had a winning record though in 67.
Rangers did 30 and 28.
Oh,
Rangers the Jets
did.
were over 500.
The Jets would definitely be. See, the Jets are moving into their good time. Then the Knicks after that are moving into their good time. So at 65 and 66, no winning teams. Now, I don't know if you guys can find it when there's 9 teams where everybody lost, but I doubt it. You would have to give you a... It would have to be a year where... Now, remember, the fleeting for the Yankees. The Yankees did not have a lot of losing seasons except the Stump Merrill years. So it would have to be early 90s, but I think the Devils were great in those years, right? Early 90s. So
and the Rangers were.
And the Rangers were. So there's no way. There's no way. So 65, 66, nobody had a winning record. That's the best we can give you. Jay in Smithtown. What's up, Jay?
Hello?
Yeah, Jay, what's
Mike?
happening? Yes.
Yeah, so it's Jerry. I'm sorry.
Oh, it
Mike,
says
I'd
Jay.
like to
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I'd like to ask you for some information, 2 questions.
Go ahead.
One in information, one
Go
if
ahead.
you agree with my analysis.
I'm listening.
Do you have any scuttlebutt on what the Giants have found? Gettleman, I know, went down to peruse and to scout Herbert and some of the other quarterbacks, whether they feel that they are good. If you have any info on that.
They won't give that information. They will keep very tight to the vest between now and the draft.
Okay. So the second question is, I think I'm not taking anything away from Eli. I love the guy.
Right.
He did a wonderful job.
Right.
But I think we blew it with Darnold. And we had a chance to get a franchise quarterback for the future, picking number 2, although Barkley is spectacular. So I'm making you general manager. When you go in there, unless you think that there's nobody there, I know we keep Eli for next year, but if there's somebody who you really think could develop, he's going to sit on the bench anyway. The Giants do that.
See, I don't like that.
Rightfully so.
I don't like that. I wouldn't have done that this year with Sam. I would have released Eli if I was going to bring Sam in with the top of the draft, which I like Sam to number 1 in the draft. I liked him better than anybody in the draft. I would have traded Eli or released him. I would not have brought him in and put Sam on the bench. I don't believe in developing quarterbacks that way. I believe in playing them right away. So if I draft a guy with a first-round pick, I make him the quarterback. I bring him to camp as my quarterback. I make him the quarterback. I don't put him on the bench. I don't believe in it. I think you put him in and let him play. That's what the Jets did this year. I think it was the right thing to do. And now next year, I think by year 2, it sets you up. Giants did it with Eli. They had Kurt Warner, and they replaced him and put Eli in for those last 7 games. And Eli only won one of those games against very good teams. But the last game of the year that year, on a Saturday, he played great against Pittsburgh, and you saw that the future was coming. And the next year, they started winning again. So, and they never had a losing year for Eli's first 8-9 years. They never had a losing season. So, to me, that's how you play it. To me, I'm not a believer in leaving the quarterback on the bench. I don't believe in it. I think it's a different world now. I think you have to play the quarterback. So if you can do it one of 2 ways if you're the Giants. You can keep Eli for 1 more year because he's under contract and put the money into the infrastructure of the team, or you can jettison Eli and then bring in a quarterback for next year, either through the draft, where the Giants could clearly get a high draft pick. They could probably trade up. Or they're going to be drafting right now. Where the draft is today, where the Giants pick. You guys can tell me where. I
think 8th.
8th. All right. So they're in the top 10. They could move up from there. They could, they could definitely get from there. They could get to 4 or 5 very easily. It's very hard to get from 8 to 1. That's very expensive. But to get to 8 to 4, you can do very reasonably. Or 8 to 5, you can do very reasonably. So they can get a quarterback that, at that part of the draft. Lawrence in Westchester. What's up, Lawrence?
Hey, Mike. Merry Christmas.
Thank
Good
you.
to talk to you.
What's up?
I'm still very hopeful with the Giants' State of the Union. I really would love to see them, like you've been talking about, go infrastructure in this draft. Just devote all 5-6 rounds to the line of scrimmage, since they're great at talent positions and the quarterback can do it. Yesterday, it just showed you. That was the wrong team to be playing on with that kind of weather, and the matchups were just wrong. But the injuries the Giants had to.
Well, it wasn't even the injuries. It's just that team was bigger and stronger than the Giants. I mean, it's as simple as that. The Giants. You know how many tackles the Giants missed yesterday? Doing the game, the guys doing the game made it very clear, and they were right. The difference in this game is the Giants. The Tennessee doesn't ever miss a tackle on Barkley, and they miss every tackle on the big back. Every single tackle on Henry. They missed. He threw them off every single time. It was like they were a little L. It looked like what's that movie with the Giants and the 2 brothers square off, and the Giants and the Cowboys or whatever they're called.
Little Giants?
Little Giants. Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like they were tackling that guy, Bruiser or Bruno or whatever that guy's name was in the movie. That's what it looked like. I mean, it was like hanging on each leg. That's what they looked like yesterday. They looked like little kids hanging on the bigger kid trying to tackle him. It was unbelievable. He was throwing off the Giants like they were Smurfs.
Giants had no Becky the Icebox.
They didn't. That's right. They didn't have the Icebox, the Becky girl. That's exactly right. They needed the Becky girl and flatten them. That's exactly right. Yes, I saw that movie. Yeah. So
it's a great movie.
It's not a bad movie. It really wasn't a bad movie. I agree. I don't remember where I saw it, on a plane or something. I don't remember where I saw that the first time. But it wasn't a terrible movie. Brian in Valley Stream. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Mike. First time, long time. Thanks for having me.
What's happening?
I just wanted to talk to you. I agree with you 1,000% on the not get a hold of the bag kind of guy. I wanted to get what your reaction would be if it did happen, and also what you think the likelihood it could happen. Giants going after Carr, giving up a first rounder, because it looks like they're all set. Oakland's all set. Like they know they're.
See, I think you have to make a commitment to Carr. I think if you're going for Carr, that is an extremely expensive move, both in terms of what you're going to give to trade for him and his salary. You have to be committed that Carr is your guy for the next 10 years. If you don't believe that, you don't trade. You don't make that move. That's an expensive move because it's going to cost you picks and money. So that means you're committed to him as your quarterback. That you have gone and done your due diligence, and he's your guy. And you are taking a quarterback. Think about it. You are taking and paying top dollar for a quarterback from a quarterback guru. You are taking his quarterback. He's telling you, I don't want this guy. He is yours. And then you're proclaiming him in your city, we have our answer. He ran him out of town. That's a hard move to make. Unless you think just that Gruden's just lost his mind, which is a possibility that he has. But that's basically what you're admitting, that he has lost his mind. Mike in Montclair, what's up, Mike?
Before I get to Eli, the Giants, the Knicks are so far...
Don't do Knicks today. Stop.
Let me just say this.
No,
I'll get to Eli.
Wait. You said Giants, do Giants. Don't do NBA on
the
NBA.
only thing... You never talk NBA. You never talk the Knicks.
They played football yesterday. Why would I do Knicks? Why would I do Knicks today?
As long as Satan owns that team,
I'm not doing Knicks today. I knew you wanted to do NBA. That's why I didn't want to take you. If you want to do NBA, admit it. I don't want you to do NBA right now. The Giants played yesterday. We're in week 15 in the NFL. We're 2 weeks from the end of the NFL season. It's football season. Why would I do Knicks today? Why? Because somebody wrote a story about Dolan I couldn't care about? I don't care that somebody wrote a story on Dolan. That doesn't even interest me. And, folks, just let me clue you in. The reason Dolan says I would, of course, look at options for my team is the stock MSG, which is separate from MSGN. The nucleus of that stock, the core of the stock, is based on the value of the two franchises. So he can't say, I would not accept a deal for the team. Why would you own the stock? And the stock has gone up from 100 to 320 and now back down to 270. And it went up $15 today because people thought he would accept an offer for the franchise. That's not what he said. He can't say he wouldn't because it would kill the price of the stock. Use your brain. Joey and Patterson, what's up, Joey?
Yeah, Mike, how you doing?
What's up?
Mike, in 1975, neither of the baseball teams made it. Neither of the football teams made it.
We didn't say made it. We said winning.
Continuing into early 76.
No, we said winning. Did anybody win?
Yeah, no, only one team made the playoffs that year.
Wait a second. Then you're already. That's not what that was. Disqualifies us. Yeah. So that didn't count.
Mike, you know football as much as anybody. What's been going on with the refereeing this year? Because there has been blatant mistakes made. The one thing, there was a delay of the game the other day that almost went 2 seconds past the clock, and that was in the Denver Browns game, and they never blew the whistle. In the old days, they would blow it instantaneously.
Yeah, first of all, it's not. First of all, it's not true. Secondly, it's not refereeing; it's officiating. There's only one referee. Secondly, that's not true. There's always a full second between when they call a play clock violation. It goes to zero for a full second before they ever call or drop a flag on it, ever. So it's always more than a second over. So it's never instantaneous, never. As a matter of fact, it's a call that you can't really use the TV for. First of all, you don't know that your TV is synced up exactly to what is the official play clock. So the bottom line is there's many times your TV play clock goes to zero and seems like it's on zero for a full second, and they still don't call it. And that happens all the time. But to your point about the officiating, the competition committee does have a very serious issue that they must address. Number one, there is a clear arbitrary and capricious nature to the calls that are deciding games. One time, a quarterback gets hit helmet to helmet, they don't call it. On the next play, somebody drops the quarterback and somebody thinks that he twisted his leg as he dropped him and he gets a 15-yard penalty. And you're like, how can that be a penalty when a guy got hit helmet to helmet the play before and there was no penalty? Secondly, the officiating, the play calls, the penalties are deciding games. And that's something that the NFL does not want. They do not want penalties deciding games, and penalties are absolutely deciding games. And that's something that they really are trying their best to stay away from, but it's become... And I've also seen some makeups which I don't like. I'll give you a perfect makeup. The Kansas City Charger game. They missed the call on Rivers. He was hitting a helmet. Absolutely was hitting a helmet. It would have given them a half the distance to the goal and a first down. No question. Instead, he threw the next ball in the end zone, and you could have bet your bottom dollar that no matter what happened in that end zone, they were going to throw a flag for pass interference. They called the pass interference on a play that they had not a right in the world to call pass interference on. They called it to make up for the fact that they blew the call. That's wrong. You can't officiate that way. You cannot officiate that way. And they missed the call. They knew they missed the call. It was on the stadium that they missed the call. They saw it on the big screen. They missed the call. Still, you can't make up the call the next. You can't be making up calls. And I can say it didn't happen. It absolutely did. It absolutely did. The play. There was no way you call pass interference on the next play. No way. And more than that, forget one game. To me, there's so many times where they're bailing out defenses play well, and all of a sudden, oh, there was a flag over here. Oh, yeah, there was a hold. Yeah, we didn't even see where the hold was. They can call a hold anytime, anywhere. Anywhere they want. All right, Joey, we're going to talk to the coach right now.